Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. We are alive. We are conscious. This life, this consciousness is the source out of which everything comes. Without that, there is nothing, no experience. Everything comes out of that same ground. All the beauty, all the creativity, all the joyousness, the happiness comes out of that. And yet we're spending our time being busy with the details of our perceptions, of what we are seeing, thinking, remembering, anticipating, missing that opportunity to connect consciously, directly with that. If we do that, the whole life experience starts to change. Marie has written to me that while doing her clips, she often listens. Then sometimes it hits her what she hears, and she became aware what the difference it makes when she gives attention to her physical experience, energetically gives attention to what is happening, mentally gives attention instead of letting it all unconsciously pass by, being busy in the mind with something else. And then she saw that if she does that often, she has a choice that when reactions come out of old habits, and she sees that, she can simply decide not to go that way. Whether we are conscious or not, that makes all the difference. Whether we are attempting at least to bring the attention back to being in the present, being really in the experience that is happening now, or whether we are just dreaming away, it makes all the difference. That doesn't mean we cannot think of the past. That doesn't mean we cannot plan something for the future, but we can do that very consciously, being here now, thinking of the past, thinking of the future. Now, Marie says, but in spite of being aware of that, what the difference it makes, then her attention is simply getting entangled with the things, with life, the details of life, even spiritual life can absorb the mind that makes us miss being aware here now, in that timelessness. And then she asked, but then how can we do that? That this becomes a pattern, that it's just the normal way of functioning. Do we just have to wait until this is just automatically the normal way of experience. Thinking that once you are consciously conscious, then it will be there automatic. But we cannot wait for that. It's not that somehow, if we just wait, then eventually this is going to happen. It's a bit like standing at the ocean, wanting to take a bath, but thinking, okay, I wait until the last wave has hit the shore. We can stand there and stand there. Many times I have said, we cannot really do it. We cannot somehow bring about willfully a shift that changes the standpoint drastically. But what we can do is make ourselves available. And we are making ourselves available by really making that sincere attempt in one way or another to connect with that essence of life. So, Mari, how are we going to do that? Simply by intending to do so. Intending to be vigilant. Intending to not go through the day half asleep, not getting completely lost in what is happening, and also in the ravings about the past and the future, but remembering to connect. If that intent is there, then the memory comes back every now and then. If we never intend that, then we never remember and we don't have the ID to do so. But if that basic intent is there, I don't want to spend my time disconnected. I want to sincerely connect. If that intent is there, this memory comes often. And if when the memory comes, we just go about it, then gradually those old patterns that try to do the exact opposite, they are getting weaker. And this becomes like a new pattern, but a helpful pattern, one we have consciously, intentionally developed. It's like learning a new art. In the beginning, it's not easy. Some people may have a very special talent for something, and it comes quite easy to them. But also people who don't have that special talent, if they decide to learn an art and then go about it and then practice and practice and practice again, then gradually it becomes easier and they can become quite virtuous in their art. And with this is the same. It should be there naturally. It's our natural state to be centered in the essence, in that which is, and watch from that perspective what's going on, the stories, the things that come and go, the ups and downs, the emotions that play. It's our natural state. It should be there, but somehow in this world, something has gone a bit wrong somewhere. And there is complete forgetting about where we are coming from, what we really are, then forms a personality in the story. And we totally identify with that role, identify with the story, identify with all that belongs to it. And because this is so, it seems like we have to learn something new, although it should be there naturally. And so we have to go about it like learning something new, intending to connect, starting the day with that intention. I don't want to miss the time, house conscious. I don't want to dream away my time missing the benefit of that conscious connection. Whenever I remember, I simply connect, and I want to remember. If that intent is there, it comes more and more. And if we really consequently, whenever the memory comes, just turn the attention back as good as we can to that which makes the experience possible, then gradually it becomes easier. If we have been functioning very long time in the opposite way, then it's not surprising that it doesn't simply disappear from one day to another, even if we intend it, even if we decide to do so. But if the decision is there, the memory comes and we can, at least for a moment, every time, connect. Sometimes it helps to just stop what we are doing. Just take a deep breath and relax and consciously connect. But more and more, we can continue whatever we are busy with, and in spite of that, relax and connect. And by doing so, by practicing so, by repeating it again and again and again, then that memory comes more often and more spontaneously. It simply starts also to happen that we feel that connection without having had to make an effort about it. We cannot wait and think, once we are established in that conscious state, then after that it will be there automatically. As long as we are functioning in a way that pulls the attention away from that natural state, and we're repeating it and repeating it, then we postponing. It's not that then we can think, okay, sooner or later I'll be in that state and then it will be there automatically. If we keep on producing obstacles, then it's just postponing. And we extending the time of unnecessarily suffering. It's worth the trouble. There's nothing else, absolutely nothing else that is anywhere close to be OC valuable like that. If we learn to live like this, if we learn to be connected, if we learn to be in conscious touch with that essential reality, then every situation changes. There is a light, there is a lightness, there is a humor, there is a joyousness, there is a laughter about what's going on. We stop taking it so serious. Being aware it's a magic show produced to give us the opportunity to experience, to accumulate experience, get wiser by the experience. But we can go about it playfully, joyously, no matter what's going on. And the difference whether this is possible or not is whether we are going through life half asleep or whether we are really taking the trouble to consciously connect. It is an effort as long as we are just being pushed by all the efforts we have made in the past in the opposite direction. As long as that push is there, we don't get around of making that little effort of first intending, really wanting to live differently, to experience differently. And then, second, follow up by action, that whenever we become aware, whenever we remember, just turn the attention back. Doesn't matter how, one way or another. We can use a technique, we can develop our own little hype that in a moment of remembrance helps us to turn the attention back in the right direction. It's just absolutely amazing that we are not simply doing that because everybody wants to be happy, not understanding that as long as we don't do that, that happiness is eluding us. We may sometimes produce circumstances where we can forget all the rest and feel quite happy, but it's always passing. Even in those circumstances where we feel quite happy, that happiness is coming out of ourselves because somehow the agreeable circumstances let us detach and relax enough that that inner joyousness has a chance to come to the surface. So, Mari, your question, how can we do that? Just intend it. Start the day with that intention to connect and to remember. And even if you become aware that quite a while has passed, you didn't have a conscious moment, don't waste your time lamenting that time that has passed. The moment you remember, then and there, you connect. Whether you are sitting quietly, whether you are walking quietly alone, whether you are with people practicing something, or whether you are just chit-chatting. The moment you become aware, oh, I've got completely disconnected consciously. That moment you just come home, connect, take a breath, relax, let go. All that creates obstacles. You can let go. And there it is. That beauty we are looking for, that happiness we are looking for, it's always there. Plenty of it. It's amazing that we are not living like this. But it's such a hypnosis to grow up in this world and function in a different way that it seems this is how it is. This is the reality. All it needs is that sincere intention and then follow up that intention with the action. Everybody is capable. It's not that some have that possibility and some have not. It simply depends whether we really sincerely want to connect with that which is true or whether we decide to just keep on dreaming away sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, having little moments of intensity, and then a lot of time where we just somehow vegetating, surviving, letting the life push us along. If we are fed up with that, then all we have to do is to decide to live in a different way. Then all we have to do is to decide, okay, that is the past. I've learned from the past. It doesn't function like that. I want to know the truth. I want to connect with the truth. And everybody can consciously turn the attention in that direction. The more you practice it, the easier it goes, the deeper you dive into that source. That much we can contribute consciously. That much we have to contribute consciously. If we do so, it's like from the divine side, there comes so much help, even if we are not aware of it often, even if in spite of the doing so, we are facing difficult situations, and then sometimes people think I'm doing so much and still all this stuff is happening to me. How can God and God's grace be there? Sometimes it's God's grace that brings us into difficult situations and helps us to become stronger and learn to that much the more profoundly connect. But that it doesn't seem to be such a terrible task to perform, we can from the beginning try to develop a bit the spirit of playfulness. Okay, this is a magic show. And this is the situation where I'm finding myself. And obviously the program is to somehow work my way out of this position, of feeling very limited, of feeling separate, of feeling lonely in a little pocket. Reminding ourselves this is not as real as it appears. It's produced that I have the chance to do this job, so let me do this job. But I can do it, I can go about it in a joyous, in a playful way. Okay, I dropped the subject with this. And I'm asking you, my friends, is there anybody here who would like to come in and say something? You're welcome to do so.
Hi,
Hello, Leela.
I gave some time for somebody to
You
come
are
up,
the
but
you are the courageous that starts, right? The courageous one.
and I usually when I hear you, when I listen to you specifically today, I really want to share, to react. Of course, it's not the first time I hear what you've said today. Um, but today I felt a bit like, yeah, I would say gently doubts and less gently a bit rejection because I prefer to stay with the doubts. So. Of course, I'm also experienced with what you've described, different situations in life. Yeah, different difficult situations, and being practicing for all these years and being able to go through and be happy again. And yeah, today it caught me in. I mean, it caught me. I'll say it differently. Today I'm having a very difficult time, and I'm not the only one here. And I thought while you were talking specifically about Israel, because Israel is somehow a small place. It's like people know each other, and we feel familiar, and we're like small neighborhood if I compare it to United States or other places, India even. And the pain and stress and difficult emotions are all over. Now, for me, because I'm not working, then I'm spending much time alone, but I'm not sure I now prefer to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least, then I have my energies to cope with rather than other people's energies. So basically, I listened to you and I just said to myself, or asked myself, how can I do it what he's saying? I do it what he's telling us, or suggesting us, offering. But the pain is too big. Fear, it's more pain than fear. There is so much pain. And again, now there's going to start another war. And I won't tell all the details, of course, of the results for both sides. I mean, the war has started, but now it's still small. So really, I don't know. I'm very, I just don't know what to do, how to go through.
Right. Anyhow, obviously, practically, you cannot do anything about it. You are not in a position that you can change the political things, that you can change the course of the events that are happening, that are about to happen. And naturally, there will be pain. Naturally, that there will be fear. But then we can hook into that pain and feel very bad about it, and feel very bad about our situation. And the pain is getting bigger and bigger, and we feel better and better about it.
Yeah.
Or you can recognize, okay, there is this thing happening, and the reaction is there, that there is pain in our experience. But then with that pain, you can dive back into yourself, and in yourself, there is that space that is not touched by this pain. No matter how much pain, no matter how much fear, there is that space that is not affected by it. There are people who desperately try to also affect that and destroy that, but they are unsuccessful. Nothing can touch that. That which is prior to all that is happening. And you can, by not resisting the pain, not resisting the fear, accepting those emotions, right with that emotion, right back to the source where they are coming from, and here is no pain. Of course, it is easier to talk like this when everything goes quite smoothly. It's a far greater challenge when there is such an upheaval around in the world going on. Nevertheless, it's still the truth, and so much more a reason that we try instead of just abandoning, somehow thinking it's hopeless and sink into a hopeless state of hopelessness and uh, a state of self-pity and a state of that we can feel only that there is only destruction and nothing can save us. Instead of going in any of those directions, in spite of that, in spite of what is happening, we can turn around, we can attempt consciously and remind ourselves there is that space in myself that is not affected. Let me come home to that. No matter what is happening, it is not affected. Pain cannot come home to yourself what you really are. Pain is in the relativity of the person we think we are. Naturally, painful reactions will be there when painful situations are there, when crazy situations, destructive situations are there, when we can observe people doing the most unimaginable things. Naturally, pain will be there as a reaction, but then we can feel very bad that we have to experience that pain or accept, okay, pain is there, and just ride with that pain all the way home to that space which is prior to the pain, prior to the fear, that which makes it possible. It needs that much more determination, sincerity of the intent. I want to connect with that and not think that what is happening is a good excuse not to do so. In contrary, what is there is a challenge to do it even more sincerely. And sometimes we may totally fail, and sometimes we may succeed, but the very attempt to do so is already changing very much the flavor, how we can deal with the situation.
You know, now when I listen to you, I actually feel, well, yeah, he's right. And also I'm saying, I'm okay. I mean, I can cry. I mean, I cry. I can, but I do things with joy also. It's not that I sit and feel sorry for myself and lost in sorrow. But you know, I'm not the issue. Now, when I think about it, it's people in Israel who have lost families, people in Israel who their children are still held by Hamas in Gaza, all kind of terrible tragedies. So it's again, it's another object to be painful about. It's not about me, I say it's about them. And so now when I'm talking about it, I feel, well, fine, he will answer you the same answer. Still, it's pain of you or somebody else.
I'm not the issue is wrong. I'm always the issue. And even
Sorry, I didn't.
you said, I'm not the issue. It's about
Ah,
the
and then yeah,
others, but I'm
yeah,
always the issue,
yeah, yeah,
right?
right, right, right.
Of course, it's not easy to see when we see people suffering. And especially also when you know you cannot go to them and talk to them the way I'm talking to you now.
No.
They will not be able to connect with that. So we may console them, we may be nice to them, knowing they are in pain. But my pain that rises because I'm seeing their pain is still my issue.
Yeah, I see.
And if I deal
Right.
with that pain and connect with them, then actually I'm helping them the most.
Yeah, that's why I go every Saturday evening to this gathering to be with them.
Mhm.
Not on a personal level, just to be together.
Yes,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's a big challenge. I understand what you're saying. Um, yeah,
right.
nothing to add. I mean, it's yeah, you've said it many times, and I know and I'm aware of that. And
It's a big challenge. It's not an easy challenge, but if we accept the challenge as a challenge, then these very difficult situations, they bring us that much more deep into our own resources if we can accept them and live with them openly.
yeah,
Mhm.
thank you, Werner. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I wish you well.
Thank you. Carry on.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Hello, Floyd.
Hi, Werner.
Mm.
I wanted to ask you about healing, healing certain relationships. So, like, for example, like our family, like brothers and things like that.
Mhm,
So, like, if I feel something is incomplete
mhm,
with my brother or something, and is it natural to feel that, okay, there's no conflict, but is it natural to feel that maybe should be more love, or there should be more, what do you say, warmth in that relationship or something like that.
mhm,
And what I do normally is like, to feel my brother in my heart and to sort of send him love or send him, energy or communicate what I want to say. So, what would you suggest in this case? Or is it that you just leave it alone and hope that, something will take care of it?
mhm. You can do both. You can, on one hand, you can really consciously send lightful energy. Think of it, whether it's your brother or anybody else in the family or anybody else, so, for that matter, and you feel that it's good to heal something. You can send love. You can send lightful, helpful, constructive energy in that connection with that being. But you cannot expect that immediately this is going to have an effect that externally this is manifesting, and then big things will happen together. Maybe from the other side, the readiness is not there. And then we can accept, okay, this may just take time. The most important thing is if we feel somewhere we have hidden, even if we are not so happy to admit it, we may carry grudges with us. That there are certain things that have happened and we still holding on to with a grudge. And if we see that we can really work with, let it come up, see what it is doing, and learn to relax it until it completely disappears. And it's possible to let all the grudges go. That even if we had a whole bag full of grudges with certain people, close people, if we don't want to defend our position, but decide, okay, this is not helpful, neither for them, nor for me, nor for our relationship. But whatever negativity that comes up in connection with somebody, then let it come up and watch it and see how it is manifesting and learn to relax it, learn to let it go. And the more of that baggage that is gone, the easier things are just starting to happen spontaneously with people. But often we have to also to be aware it may take time. I had with my father a very strained, difficult relationship. We were functioning in different worlds, and uh, and both were reactive. He was reactive, I was reactive. But then I came to India, and for 12 years we didn't have basically anything to do together. But in that period, I have emptied all that stuff out of my system. And that has also affected him. And after that, when I went back, suddenly it was possible for the first time, actually, in our common life to have a real friendship.
So was it a conscious attempt, like when you were doing your sadhana or whatever you were doing, or it just happened?
It was not that I was sitting down and thinking, now I have to clean out my connection with my father. But when you sit down and try to keep quiet, all that stuff that stands in the way of keeping quiet comes up to the surface. And first, in the first period, I tried to avoid it. I tried to push it back. I didn't want to be busy with that psychological stuff. But then I had to accept, okay, I have to somehow confront it. I have to deal with it. There's no way that we can really find peace, lasting peace, if we are not letting those things come up that stand in the way of it. And then when things came up, emotions, with in this specific case with my father, then I let the scenes come up again. Scenes that had left me after that angry and keeping something hidden, holding on to me, and let that anger come up again and manifest it, but observe it, not getting lost in the story, but observe it now, how it is manifesting, learning to relax it, and eventually these were just stories, and all this baggage that was there was gradually getting less and less, and finally it was gone. But I didn't go for it, look for it, and think I have to clean out that thing. I thought, anyhow, we don't have anything to do together, so what, never mind. But then, just while this stuff was there in the subconscious, I couldn't avoid to confront it as it came up to the surface. And there I stopped rejecting it. First I did, and it was just postponing the lengthening the pain, postponing the peace. And then I understood I have to confront whatever comes up, not not only in the family, but whatever has happened in my life, and stuff was there unresolved. It would come up, would be painful sometime, but still that ability developed of looking at it here now in the present and let things go. And when things are gone, after that, it's healing is starting to take place all by itself. Still, if you feel like you can consciously do so, this is helpful, but the main thing is that whatever stands in the way in a natural, spontaneous, innocent connection with somebody is all those things that we are holding on to that somehow don't allow it. And if we are cleaning that out in ourselves, then the other side is also being influenced by it. They may not ready to so easily just give up all the grudges, all the anger that has been there, but still that is a very good position that they can easier give it up. If from our side it stops coming towards them.
Have you heard about this method called Ho'oponopono?
I didn't understand. Cold?
There's a there's a method called Ho'oponopono. It's
I
a Hawaiian method.
No, I don't know. And there are many
Uh,
methods. And if there is a method you feel you resonating with, then by all
yeah,
means use that.
yeah. It's a method where you say, few phrases. I'm sorry, please forgive me,
Uh-huh.
thank you, I love you. So you send that kind of energy to the person
Yes,
who is who with whom you want to sort of improve your connection.
right. I'm
Yeah,
sure all these kind of exercises, they are very helpful. For me, I found out what is even more important is that we give up the opposite. And then this starts to come by itself. But if at the same time you consciously following a method or doing your own stuff, want to do that positive input, it is certainly helpful, no doubt.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Hario. Hario.
Hariom.
Hello, Nava.
Hi, Werner. Um, Sort of what we're talking about, I've been finding lately more and more that so much of what I saw on the outside is really me, inside of me. It's the anger and it's the judgment of others and sometimes even hate
Mm.
um, and I'm not quite sure what to do with it. I can't bypass it.
Yes,
It's become very clear that it is a part of me,
yes.
and I can't seem to, as in the past, connect with something. You call it the essence. I can't seem to do that because this is just very, very strong.
Mm.
And I'm just not sure. I don't want to bypass it, but I also feel like it's very difficult to stay there.
Mm.
Not quite sure where to go with it.
Yes. You connect as good as you can with the essence. And then when those things that are there stand in the way, sooner or later, they come up and we become very conscious that it is there. And then trying to push them away is not a solution because then it's just suppressed again, waiting for the next chance to come up. If something comes up and we easily just can let it go and it goes, we can let it go. But if something comes and insistent comes again, starts nagging and just creates obviously an obstacle to simply be, then you can do the opposite from pushing it away. You can say, okay, come, invite it. Maybe remember the situations that brought about those feelings, but then Be careful not to get lost in the story, that you remain here now. And you just watch what is happening. You don't stop it. You invite it rather consciously. And don't feel bad about it. Let, no matter what bad, negative, not good feelings want to come up, let them come up. Don't think, I can't have such feelings. It is so totally unspiritual. Let them come up. And if we stop preventing it, we are going sometimes to be just totally shocked to see what we are capable of, what we are capable of feeling, what kind of feelings we are capable of having. But then if we are acknowledging that it is there, instead of trying to cover it up, instead of trying to justify, instead of trying all kinds of tricks to live with them, if we just invite them, okay, come up. But then at the same time, keep that position of observing. Keep a detachment, seeing what it is doing, even if strong anger, even if an intense hatred bubbles up, that you just watch what is really happening in the body, what I'm doing to myself when these feelings are there, and start to relax, start to let go. By observing, by not identifying, then they come up, they may play a bit havoc for some time, but if we are not feeding them by fighting them, if we are not feeding them by justifying them, if we just observe them, then they gradually disappear. And you may be surprised that after a storm like this, suddenly you feel totally at ease and peaceful. Then we may think, okay, this one is gone. And maybe it's not gone. Maybe next day, same stuff comes again. Doubt yesterday, I went through it, it's gone. But then, if it's so deeply rooted and if there is such a intensity there, then we may have to do the same thing repeatedly, maybe many times with certain things. But if you treat it in this way, then even the most intense stuff that we are carrying along will gradually lighten up, and eventually those energies, those emotions that are locked into it, they are gone, and it's just a story.
I think part of the difficulty is accepting that it's there.
Yes, that is
That I
difficult.
have such terrible feelings inside of me, and
Right.
yeah, and
Acknowledging that it is there is the very important first step. Acknowledging that I'm capable of harboring this kind of stuff in me is very important. As long as we are denying it, we also not giving it the possibility to go.
I know in the world of psychology, they talk about that everything is a part of us, both love and both hate. And somehow it seems right to me the things that you say, that when we really get to the essence, then that no longer is a part of us.
The potential is there that we can go in any emotional direction. Simply, when you're connected, then we won't have this destructive reaction anymore and build up things. There may be a moment of anger still, and there we have the choice. Am I going to pick it up? Am I going to manifest it? Or am I just going to let it pass like a puff of air? But sometimes you may still, a moment manifest in anger, you let it go, it doesn't leave a trace. It's when we are repeatedly holding on to and not letting it go, and then gradually suppress it in the subconscious, that it's there nagging and creating problems. The potential of all the emotions is there as long as they are appearing in a human form in this world. Then the whole range of possible emotions are there, but you won't hold on to them, and then they don't become destructive. They can momentarily, a so-called negative emotion can come. You deal with it, you let it go, it doesn't matter.
So bottom line, you're saying at a time like this, when it's almost all encompassing for me,
Mhm.
that I just need to stay with it,
Right.
observe it, and try not to identify with it.
Yes.
Yeah,
See,
right?
see what it is doing to your experience right now. Start on the easiest level. See what it is doing to you physically when those emotions are there. When you stop denying them, when you stop resisting the fact that they are there, but accept, okay, they are there, invite them, okay, come, manifest. Then and then watch what it is doing to you physically and energetically, and on those levels you can start to relax. All the tensions, all the pains they bring along, you can start to relax, and then they lose their force. Sometimes something may come up, something very heavy, and you may quite for some time deal with it and chew with it and go from the beginning to the end, from the end to the beginning, and turn it around. But if you keep on observing, even if at the moment it pulls you in again, and then you keep on coming out and observing, then eventually that you come out of it, and then really you are at peace. You feel light, like a big, heavy story is gone. Maybe it's not completely gone, but that moment you feel like, that was good to go through that story. The, you feel at ease, at peace with yourself. But then the same thing may come. So you do it again. And if it comes another day, you do it again. And eventually it's not more there. There was a period in my life that came back after that, when I was sitting on and on for a few months, over and over and over, but then eventually it was gone. It's not that the memory is gone, but all that was there as a weight that I was carrying along is gone for good.
Mm. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wish you well. No matter how heavy the burden is that we are carrying, no matter how impossible it sometimes may seem that we can let go of certain things, if we sincerely want to be free, there is no other way but somehow or other deal with it. One can go and look for a therapist and look for help like this. If somebody wants to do so and that helps, why not? But confronting is necessary. And we can also do it ourselves if we have the courage, if we have the honesty and the sincerity. And when I say if we have the honesty, then I mean that we acknowledge to ourselves that certain things I did, certain things I said, certain emotions that I harbored, they are downright negative, destructive, and not try to find excuses, but just not feel, oh, it's terrible, I'm going to hell because of that. Not getting all discouraged because of it, but see, okay, that is a part of the story, and there is no point in denying it. But I need not hold on to it any longer. That is the past, and the past should be just a memory. We give it a false reality by emotionally hanging on to the past. If we give up, if we surrender that attachment, then it's just a story full of lessons, a story that brings us wisdom. Lessons where something nice has happened, something beautiful has flown through this body mind, and some lessons where I see the opposite, something very bad, ugly, disharmonious, painful has flown through this body mind. It also is a lesson where we are learning. And we need not somehow try to erase the memory, but what we can let go is all that emotional stuff that still is locked into it and is there like a heavy burden that we are unnecessarily carrying along. It's the past. It doesn't matter. We need not try to improve the image of our past in order that we can live with ourselves. This is a person. This is a story. And by wrongly identifying totally with that person, with that personal story, I had also idiosyncratic reactions and did things that I'm not proud of. So what? This is the story. Right now, I'm only holding on to because I don't let go the emotional attachment to it. If I let go both the pride for the great things and also the disgust for not the great things, if I just let that attachment go, then actually I can learn from that story. It brings wisdom, information that I can apply now when it makes sense, when it's necessary. But all the emotional stuff we can let go. It's the past, it doesn't exist. It's only a memory. There's only one point where we are touching reality now. All that is in the memory doesn't exist except as a memory. And we don't have to hold on to that whole baggage of emotions in the memory. We can let them go. And then it's like a very valuable storehouse of information, the past, from where we can draw wisdom, where we can draw abilities in the present moment and apply it as it is needed. We have the right to let it go. It's not that for punishment we have to hold on to it. Because I did something bad, I have to suffer now. We have suffered enough then until now. And now, when we become aware and see it, we have the right to let it go. Be free and light and innocent like a child again. This is our birthright. This is our natural state. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? You're welcome to do so.
Yeah, it's me again.
Yes, you're welcome.
So I want to ask again about, well, I haven't asked about it yet. Many Israel believe that if we all stop doing what we're doing and go all together to the parliament in Jerusalem, or yeah, to the parliament in Jerusalem, and just stay there to influence as much as possible so that they change their minds about what they're doing. I say it like really, yeah. In any event, there are demonstrations every Saturday evening, and now it's even more. I think it's every evening in Tel Aviv, and quite aggressive. They put big fire zone and all kinds of things they do.
Yeah.
What I support. But I can't go there. And many people can't go there. I just can't take it. I can say it's not my nature, but okay, I do things that they're not my nature sometimes. But this is not about my nature. It's about, first of all, I'm afraid to be with so many people around me. And when it becomes slightly aggressive or more, I can't shout like many people shout. Again, I guess that you would say to me, if I'm right, then yeah. Well, you do what you do. You can do what you do from home with intentions and energies and concentration. And in any event, you can you can only do what you can do.
Yes.
Yeah. But in a way, I feel, I wish I could. I wish everybody could. I wish that actually millions of people would go there and do it. So it's another sort of, it's not really an issue, but something that bothers my mind.
Right. And it's natural that when we see things that are destructive, that are disharmoniously done, managed, things that could be turned around to be much more harmonious, then naturally the urge is there, what can I do? I would like to do more about it, to bring it about. And to go there, to walk on the street, to say what you want to say is certainly one method to help to bring about something. But what these people should be very, very aware of is if they come with hatred, if they come with aggression, then actually it doesn't change anything. Then it's just the ideas that change, but the current is still the same. So a demonstration that is basically peaceful, but is making clear that, okay, something there is totally wrong. We are not agreeing with, but not with violence, not with hatred, simply, then that has a much greater power. And often then the demonstrations turn violent, and then it's again back in the same current, feeding the same current.
Yeah, I wouldn't say hatred, but a lot of anger and frustration. I
Yeah.
have a friend, and I keep saying to her, maybe you can look at your anger and put it a little bit down. You will suffer less.
Mm.
But she says to me, I want to be angry.
Yeah.
So that's the way so I understand what you're saying. I also agree, but I can't blame people, of course.
Right.
People are frustrated, and frustrations turns into anger quite easily.
Right.
And I appreciate what they do in any event. I can't educate them, and but I hear what you say. It's part of the whole problem.
Right.
Let's
If
call
they
it
have to
problem.
go and express their anger, then they have to go and express their anger. But you don't have to feel bad that you are not joining them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
We are also here. I'm hearing that argument. There is not in the surroundings immediately problems like in your surroundings. But then you can see what's going on all over the world. And then in that
Yeah.
sense, we are all in the midst of it. And I'm hearing that argument, but I'm frustrated. I cannot do it. There should be something I can do about it. And I tell again and again, yes, you can do something about it. Don't get sucked into that current of panic, of fear. Don't get sucked into the current of being just angry and hating those who doing what they are doing, but see the situation, see the reactions that come, and you for yourself, you learn to deal with it in such a way that you can turn all that whirling, that fighting energy that is struggling, you can turn it into something peaceful and radiate. A few people doing that have much more power than a whole crowd who is doing the opposite. You can do something, but it's not something that makes headlines. It's not something you are going to get a medal for it.
No.
It's not something
Yeah.
that people even are aware of it, but you can do something about it.
Yeah, I understand it.
Mm.
It's a loop. I mean, it's like complicated. Yeah. Okay.
Shall we leave it at that?
Yeah. I mean, we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you then again.
You're welcome. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Ariel.
Is there anybody else who would like to come in, say something? Okay, then let's together just do what I just told Leela, what we can do. Let us just sit together, connect quietly for some time. Those who are at home and can sit, I recommend that you sit in a comfortable position, somewhat straight, not stiff, but it helps that the energy can circulate in the system easier. And then let's just be here, now, peacefully. You are physically in a world where right now there is so much negativity. There's so many destructive energies. And of course, they will invade our energy field. But we can be here now, at ease, at peace. And then those destructive energies will be transformed. And even if we are absorbing a lot of negativity, it can be transformed and we can all radiate your light. Radiate the natural peacefulness that is prior to all these troubles. You just connect and let it flow in the manifestation. It helps to consciously, calmly breathe in and breathe out. Very gentle. With the awareness of this gentle breathing, we can turn the attention back to that source that makes it possible. That source out of which the whole vitality comes, the whole consciousness comes, the whole love flows from that source. That is prior to all the pains, the struggles, the wars, the disharmonies. Here now, touching that, diving into it, feel all our being with it, and let it flow into the manifestation, into the mind and intellect, and in the energetic field around the body and in the body itself. And then radiate, radiate it. Radiate pure light. Radiate that peacefulness that comes from within. This is what we are meant to be. pure manifestation of that inner beauty. Just relax, let go, and let it simply happen. Whatever thoughts are coming, trying to deviate the attention, trying to separate with peace. Don't hook into them. Just don't get interested. You see them come, you see them go. And the thoughts want to carry us away from that simple, peaceful beingness in the timelessness of the now. You just let the thoughts go, but you don't go along with it. You come back home, home where you belong, and relax. And radiate. Just breathe gently, consciously, and relax. then we can consciously become again also more aware on the physical level, become aware that that peacefulness is also pervading the body and radiates through the body. And even if after that we get up and go out, do our things, are with people, we still can continue. Be aware there is that basic peace that cannot be touched. That pure light that cannot be polluted. That it can radiate to this psychophysical manifestation wherever we go. I wish you all well. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.